Hi, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are literally crushing it in this business. And today's episode is absolutely that case. We show you the inside scoop and how multifamily investors are just creating massive success in their businesses and in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, Mark Nagy, who's the director of our massive action team for our Warrior Mentorship Program. Mark, what's up, brother?
Hey, Rod, I'm excited for this one. Yeah, reading through the bio. Before this, we've got some big stats on the call today, but I'll let you introduce them.
Yeah, sure. So today we've got Dinesh Nayak, who I've actually been bugging to get on the show for a long time, and he's a busy guy, and he's had 25 years in the software world. But when he joined the Warrior program in 2019, you know what? I don't want to steal his thunder. I'll let him tell you, but he's in over 1,500 doors as a GP and LP. He's been in, I think 900 of them are as a general partner. He's done joint ventures several times and just done a lot of stuff in the last few years. So very excited to have you on the show, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Mark. It is a great honor to be here in this podcast.
Oh, for sure. And long overdue. Well, listen, why don't you take a few minutes and kind of give the listeners your background, and maybe why you got into multifamily, how we met, when exactly you joined the Warrior program. Just talk a little bit about your background, and just give us some background on you.
Sure. Yeah. It's a typical immigrant story. I was born and grown up in India, came from a lower middle class family. Both parents worked like 13, 12, 14 hours every single day, no weekends. So I worked in the park for a couple of hours before school, after school. It was my hard work ethic came from that livelihood. So
you got your work ethic from your parents, yeah.
Parents, right. So from career's point of view, I worked in IT for over 25 years. Started as a programmer, but grew into leadership role, management role. I have an engineering degree from India, and when I came to US in 1995, I also did my MBA. But as far as real estate concerned, I started investing in real estate in India, but it was mostly appreciation play. I had no concept of cash flow. Here, in the US, I started my single family investment back in 2013, but I had no clue about multifamily investment until 2019. So I attended a boot camp.
One of my boot camps?
Exactly. I started.
And this was in 2019. Where was it?
It was Denver.
Oh, Denver. Oh, that was right. The big one with my mom. Yeah,
oh, exactly.
I just saw my mom this last weekend. That's why that's kind of cool. She's really getting old. But that boot camp, if you hadn't heard me tell this story, my mom's the reason I got into real estate. And she bought the house across the street and told me she made 20 grand in her sleep on it. And I said, forget college, and got into real estate. And so she was at that event, in the front row in her wheelchair. And I was behind the curtain, literally crying like a big baby because I was just so moved by the fact that she was there. My brothers were all there, and I had to pull myself together to come out and do that presentation. Anyway, so that's where you joined.
I still remember that scene, and even that brought tears into my eyes.
So
that was a great,
thank you.
Great experience.
It was for me. Thank you.
But basically, in the beginning, when I started single family, okay, let me get to 10, and then let's see. But when I was exposed to this multifamily investing, sky was the limit. So far, right now, I have done 4 syndications, 3 JVs, especially in the last 12 months.
So you've done 3 joint ventures. You've done 4 syndications as a general partner, right? And I think you said you were in over 900 doors as a general partner. Right. And you've done all this as a warrior. Have you done deals with other warriors in the program, or how have you put these together?
Yeah, all these deals with my warrior partners.
Okay, and so they're all done with warrior partners. Okay,
exactly.
Fantastic. Wow.
And the most exciting thing is I'm also getting into new development project in North Carolina. This is for 144 multifamily units.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I know about that. I saw that posted by another warrior, I think, actually, yes. that you're partnering with on that new development. Well, that's very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that, and I want to learn all that process. So we are just starting that process. It has been a great journey, especially in the last 12 months. I have gotten a lot of traction because of my partners and some of the things that we have started doing very consistently. It's been great.
So sorry. You said you've been doing some things consistently that have ramped in the last year. Can you speak to that a little bit? Can you drill down on that a little bit? Yeah,
the thing we started was having these underwriting meetings every week, twice a week. Sometimes they go up to 2 to 3 hours continuously. So, and at least we put 2 LOIs, letter of intents, every week in front of the brokers, and then follow up with the brokers, email with them, talk to them, set up meetings with them. So that consistent process helped us a lot to build the rapport with the brokers, and we got into several best and finals, but finally
that's close. Let me. Sorry to interrupt, my friend. Let me just dissect something you just said that I really want my listeners to hear, and that is, that's the power of a team, guys, because when you're looking at these deals, there's so many nuances and there's a lot of, there's subjectivity that comes into play. And that's why, you want a team that's not just telling you how to do a deal, but maybe even why not to do a deal as well. You want multiple eyes on these things, which is why these weekly meetings are so important when you put a team together and you review a deal together, you bounce things off of each other, you question things, you dig deeper on things. And so, that's resulted in 2 letter. By the way, an LOI, guys, is a letter of intent. If you don't know what that is, and what that does is it starts the process, the conversation with a seller or a broker, lets them know, what you're willing to pay in the terms of the deal, because, you're never going to write a purchase and sale contract yourself. That'll always be done by an attorney, and attorneys cost money. So the process starts with an LOI, letter of intent. And so you're putting out 2 of those LOIs a week, which is fantastic. And, and then you're meeting with the brokers regularly, talking to the brokers, enhancing those relationships so they see who you are and they're willing to, try you if they haven't done it, if you haven't closed a deal with them before. So it's all great, all great stuff. Thank you.
Right. And also before that, we were doing, we hired a VA in Philippines, virtual assistant. Actually, we hired a virtual assistant in Philippines, and have them call the sellers directly. So through that process, we got 3 small properties, like 11 unit, 17 unit, like that.
So you had a Filipino making outbound calls to owners, asking them if they want to sell, which is exactly what we teach in the course. You do. Right. That's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And virtual assistants are just so helpful. We have 2 in the Philippines. We have 1 in Latin America. We actually have 1 that helps put our deals into our system for our underwriting as well, which is something we can talk about offline, Dinesh, and might help you. But anyway, no, that's great stuff, buddy.
Sure, so what's typically your role on a team, Dinesh, and how did you go about when you were first getting started, like figuring out your quote unquote superpower?
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. I'm, from profession, I'm an engineer. I love numbers. I love spreadsheets. So underwriting is definitely my thing. But at the same time, since I have been in leadership roles, management roles in my IT career, I have been able to apply the same skills into this multifamily world where I build the teams. I enjoy asset management. I enjoy going through the tasks that need to happen to close a deal. So I like that kind of project management work. At the same time, going through the numbers. So those are the two superpowers I believe I have.
Oh, for sure. So you've got, you don't just have the underwriting numbers experience, you also have leadership experience, which comes into play for sure. You have, and certainly your level of detail and organization, because you love numbers, is going to help you with asset management as well and keeping track of what's happening on CapEx projects and things of that nature. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I love it. So, how many people are, you set up, I assume you've done deals with Warriors, and do you just have one team doing all these, or have you done, a couple of different teams and different groups on these deals?
I have one partner with me, and we work very close, and we talk several times a day. But depending on the deals, we go with different sets of people.
Right.
So that's how,
Sure. And that's how you do it. Yeah, that's how you do it, guys. Sometimes you'll bring in people to, that have a piece that you might be missing. Maybe you need a little more liquidity after the closing. Maybe you need some net worth. Maybe you need some more experience. Maybe, they're involved in raising equity and helping with that. That's another piece. They need to do more than just that, but that always helps as well. And that's how this business works. Now, let me ask you this, Dinesh. Did you have, you were doing single family on your own? I know. You came to my boot camp. Did you have an epiphany or a moment where you're like, okay, this is what I need to be doing? And if so, when did it happen? And really, what was it? I mean, any aha moments, I guess, is what I'm asking in this trajectory of yours.
Yeah, since I'm a numbers guy, the first day you talked about, okay, an increase of $100 in one unit. If you have 100 units, that's $10,000 you're going to get every month. 10,000 equals to, in a year, 120,000. So basically, if you divide that by cap rate, which is generally by 0.5 or 0.6. Mm-hmm. So that much value you can generate just by increasing the rent per unit by $100. So that actually really, that was the trigger point for me.
Yeah, wow. I'll tell you. So it was about the numbers for you. Of course it was. I should have known. I should have known better. So what's interesting is we just had a asset management call with one of our managers on one of our assets, and we've numbered the parking lot so people can pick their own parking places. And we've identified about 16 spots in front of each building that are desirable. And we did the math on this. And if we only rent half of those desirable spaces, we have instantly increased the value of $1 million. If we rent them all, we've increased it $2 million. So very, very, very exciting note on on your ability to increase value based on, I'll give you another example. If you guys haven't heard this example, my manager there did a fire inspection. So she made sure the fire extinguishers weren't expired. You have to check them regularly and check the alarm system. The smoke alarm, all that stuff. And she was doing these inspections. She discovered 64 residents had pets they hadn't told us about. And so those 64 are now paying an extra $20 in rent. That alone raised our value $400,000 at this complex. So just to get an idea of the exponential ability to ramp the value is very, very exciting.
That's the exciting stuff. Yeah. That's why we're here. Yeah. So after that epiphany, Dinesh, what ultimately led you to even join a group like ours to begin with?
You you have these panels on the stage, right? And these people look just similar to me. And, if these people can do this, I should be able to do this thing easily. So, and it's not easy, but if somebody can do it, I can do it too. So that's why. And also at the same time, I was looking for multiple cash flow, how that wanted, the time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, those kind of freedoms. So I was looking for those things as well. So this basically came along, and I, jumped into it.
Nice. So follow up on that for people that are listening that maybe have a similar background to you, right? Software engineering, analytical sort of mindset. What would you recommend? What advice would you give to help them just get started?
Oh my goodness. This is a really good question. I would say, just to jump into it, just do it. But definitely you have to find right partners. You join somebody who has done it before, and follow the process along with them. But you have to just do it. I am kind of a perfectionist. Sometimes I get too much into details. Before I am perfect, I don't really get into something new. But in this case, there is, you just jump into it and do it. That's how.
Yeah. Now, perfectionism is actually a form of fear, by the way, because people use it to, myself included, I'm not picking on you, myself included, people use it to not take action very often. And, analytical people like yourself, every box has to be checked off, but sometimes you just have to take that leap, and recognize that you'll figure it out as you go. Otherwise you may never get started. And so I appreciate that, Dinesh. And by the way, guys, obviously, we love talking about our Warrior program. If you have an interest in applying for that, just text the word crush to 72345 so we can help you crush it in this freaking business. That's crush to 72345. And, we check you out, you check us out. We don't take everybody, but, certainly you'll leave the phone call with my team better than when you came on. I can promise you that, because we'll help you get aligned on your goals as well. But, anyway, so let me ask you this. I've kind of been monopolizing the questions, Mark. I'm sorry. Let me ask you this. Were there any setbacks or forget setbacks, because those are very specific, but how about sacrifices? What did you have to give up, if anything, to get where you are right now? Do you have family, children?
Yeah, I have family. I have, a wife and two daughters. One is in college and one is in the high school. They're pretty smart, beautiful,
right. Of course they are.
But and then, sometimes, to tour the properties, you need to go out of town. You spend the whole day there. Second thing is, as I told you, I spend a lot of time in the evenings for underwriting. So those are the times, even though you work for 8 to 10 hours whole day, then again, you have to work 3 to 4 hours on these underwriting calls or some other calls with different teams, masterminds. You have to sacrifice a lot of, when you work for 10 to 16 hours every single day on this, you lose on different things. Maybe it could be, going and meeting friends, and it could be, I am a golfer, or I have some outdoor activities that I do generally. So I miss on that. Definitely, I am not a TV guy that much. I am not a movie guy. I do not watch movies that much. Definitely, TV time is another thing. It's not a sacrifice. It's just a.
But I spend a lot of time talking about that work-life balance as well. Right. That you don't give up on what's most important to achieve success. And But that said, if you're willing to grind for a few years, like most people won't, you'll live the rest of your life like most people can't. And look at what you've accomplished already. And you're just getting going here, buddy. So it's very, very exciting to be a fly on the wall for your journey. That's what it takes. So really, really proud of you and very impressed with what you've accomplished, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you've talked about a couple of times doing deals in other locations. I see you've done deals at 7 states. I think you mentioned. Mm-hmm. A lot of people struggle with that, right? Doing deals elsewhere in other states outside of their backyard, especially the people in the blue states, New York, Jersey, California here, et cetera. You know what I'm talking about. How'd you overcome that? Gain the confidence to do deals in other places, in other states?
Yeah. I don't know, Rod, if you remember or not, this was my first limited partner investment in your Daytona property. So which
was a scream and ended up to be an incredible deal. So please continue, but then you can go ahead and steal my thunder if you want, but tell the story on that deal, because that was a crazy deal. Yeah.
I used to listen to your podcast for so long. Okay, let me jump into this deal and wrote a check for $100,000. Okay, now I have to really go and visit the property because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, that's right. You were there. You were there for the due diligence. I forgot all about that. Right. Yeah, that's right.
So I actually drove, so at least a 9 hours drive from here where I am. And we sat in the car at 5 p.m. after work and drove all the way till 2 a.m., reached the hotel, and then met you in the morning. Wow. And then I drove back at 5 o'clock. So that was, those are the things. Even I have done that on a deal that I invested in Jacksonville, Florida. Same thing with Georgia too. So yeah, I really like to go and see the property, participate in due diligence, and then, once you gain the confidence, you repeat the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's commitment, guys. Okay. That what he just described. And, when you have that level of commitment, success is inevitable. Now, let me just back up for a minute on that particular deal, because I tell that deal is a crazy one. It's 101 units. And a few months after we bought it, it literally got destroyed by a tornado. Luckily, nobody died, no children got hurt, but it just got wiped out. And what's crazy is we rebuilt it, and we've gotten incredible rent bumps there, like $500 to $650. We're talking $10 to $12 million increase in value because of those rent bumps on 101 units. So it turned out great. I mean, at the time, it wasn't very fun because it was literally all 101 families had to move. But what a home run it's turned out to be. And it's a fantastic part of Dayton, very high income part of Dayton. So I'd forgotten, buddy. You're right. I mean, things run together for me sometimes, but I remember now you being there and you telling me how long you drove to get there and all that. That's funny. Yeah.
So I got one more for you, Dinesh, and I know this is a big one. Rod talks about this all the time, right? Having a purpose, having a bigger goal, right? Obviously, you've done a lot to give back and some specific things. Tell us about what you do to give back and what made you pick those specific causes.
Yeah, I need to go back to my childhood. Actually, when I was in 7th grade, 2 of my classmates, they just disappeared from the school. And I came to know that they were from a very poor background. And I came to know that their uncle stopped them from the school and then took them to a city and then got them into a housemaid job. So basically they became housemaid at the age of 12.
Wow.
So that was the turning point for me. And when I started my job, when I started making some money, I started giving scholarships to these, especially the kids, female kids with the single moms. Mm-hmm. And that continued over the years. One of my beneficiaries, he's in Tampa area too. So he got graduated from college. And
no kidding.
Yeah,
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, that feels amazing. But at the same point, I wanted to scale up this effort. So I joined the Rotary International. I joined several different nonprofit organizations and worked towards, doing this different and getting involved with the different projects. For example, I did a Rotary International Global Grant project for a hospital in India, which is establishing a skin bank, basically burn center.
Wow.
Storing skin for the wounded people. You can save skin for store skin for 5 years, and it can be used. So at the same time, my grandfather had these are pre-independence days in India, 1930s, 1940s. He was the only educated person in that village. And then he realized the importance of education and started establishing elementary schools. So over the years, he did 6 elementary schools in different villages. And then he started in 1950s middle school, and then 1980s a high school. So at this point, all of them are falling apart. There are no basic facilities. So basically, my brother and myself and a lot of other people got together, and we wanted to rebuild these schools. Also, we have a free hostel that we just completed the construction.
Yeah, a free hostel, right? You've done, my God, you've done so much. I mean, rebuilding the schools. You've built new buildings for these schools.
Ultimately, this is what I like doing. So for this, you need a lot of time and money too. But if I get a lot of time, I can do all these things more and more. So,
guys, this is why I wanted him on the show so much, because what you'll find, especially my warrior group, is many of them do things like this. They raise money for all sorts of things. Are involved in helping veterans and brain injury on veterans too. Here you're building schools and a free hostel, and you help at-risk underprivileged students financially get their college education. You've got one in Tampa graduating. That is just so freaking awesome, buddy. I can't even imagine how good that feels, and so impressed with you doing that. And like I said, that's something that's prevalent in our warrior program that I'm super proud of. We all have two hands, one to pull ourselves up and one to pull up people underneath us. And you are a shining example of that, my friend. So I salute you. Well, listen, my friend, it has been great to have you finally on here and have you add value. And I appreciate you. And I know we'll see you very, very soon at one of the events. We've got our July boot camp coming up in Denver, and I don't know if you can make that, but I hope you're there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rod. It was a great pleasure to be on this show.
Thank you, my friend. All right. Take care.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year, we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step, and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 72345, and we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out. That's mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 72345.